Today, we are going to be talking about the number line and absolute values and which number is greater than another number. So we're going to start with this example. 2 is less than 5. If you'll remember from grade school, the alligator always eats the bigger number. Okay, so that's one way to think about it. It always opens towards the bigger number. That's another way to think about it. So this statement is going to be true. How we're going to show it's going to be true if I put 5 on the number line. And I put 2 on the number line. 5 is farther right on the number line than 2 is. Okay, so that would be a true statement. All right, the next one we're going to do is we added a little bit of an expression in there. 8 minus 7, 8 minus 7 is 1. So I have 1 blank to negative 1. I want to grab both of those numbers. There's 0, 1, negative 1, 1. 1 is to the right of negative 1, so it is a larger number. In my alligator, it is always going to open up to the larger number. Negative 2/5, negative 1/5. In the negative direction, again, I'm going left. Put 1 right there. 1/5, negative 1/5 would be right there. Negative 2/5 would be right there. Negative 2/5 is to the left of negative 1/5, so it is the smaller number. Or negative 1/5 is to the right of negative 2/5, making it the larger number. Again, it always opens towards the larger number. All right, multiplication, we're going to use this to do absolute values. A negative times a negative is always a positive. So I'm going to get positive 1/2. All right, again, back to order of operations. Brackets are this more or less the same thing as parentheses, so there's another grouping symbol. So we're going to work inside the brackets first, and then we're going to work inside the parentheses. I cannot do anything with negative 8, so I'm going to work to the next step. So negative 1, if you want, there's an imaginary 1 right there. Negative 1 times negative 8. Negative times a negative is a positive. That's positive 8. And then again, there's an understood 1 in front. So negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. All right, we're going to work some absolute value problems. All right, let's start. Absolute value is how far, again, should be a little bit of a review, but how far a number is from 0 on a number line. So if I just quickly graph 0.7 or negative 0.7, how far is that number from 0? It is negative. It is 0.7 away from 0. Negative 3.3 would be a distance of 3.3 away from 0. So the absolute value, those bars, absolute value of negative 0.7 is 0.7. The absolute value of negative 3.3 is 3.3. So I got 0.7 plus 3.3, which is going to be 4. And if you're struggling with that, line up your decimal points and add the numbers. 4.0. All right, absolute values again. How far is negative 3/4 away from 0 on number line? It is a distance of 3/4. How far is 1/4 away from 0 on number line? It is a distance of 1/4. So I've got negative 3/4 minus 1/4. This minus sign is not inside the parentheses, so I do not worry about it until I've done the absolute value part. And Again, if you remember how to add and subtract fractions, you need a common denominator, which we have in this case, 4. So then I just do the operation. 3 minus 1 is 2. So I get 2/4. And then I can reduce that. What's the largest number that goes into 2 and 4? It is 2. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 4 twice. So my answer is 1/2. Alright, going back to inequalities a little bit. The absolute value of negative 15. So negative 15 is 15, the distance of 15 units away from 0 on the number line. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6 units away from 0 on the number line. Which one is larger? Well, 15 is larger than 6, so I'm going to eat 15. Again, if you need to graph it, that is perfectly understandable. 15 lies to the right of 6, so it is the larger number. Okay, so this is tricky. I'm asking, what number can I take the absolute value of and get 2? Obviously, I can take the absolute value of 2 and get 2. But there is also another number. Let's go back to what absolute values stand for. They stand for the distance away from 0 on the number line. So what I'm asking for is what number or what numbers have a distance of 2 away from 0 on a number line. Well, it is 2, and it is also negative 2. Negative 2 is a distance of 2 away from 0 on the number line, so my answers are 2 and negative 2. Again, same question. What has a distance of negative 9 away from 0 on a number line? All right, let's talk about distance. Do you ever say, I'm going from Nashville to Memphis, and I'm going to travel negative 350 miles, or whatever it is. Or I'm going to New York, I'm going to travel negative 1,000 miles. No, you always say the positive. Distance is always positive. So I will never have a distance, an absolute value, that equals a negative number. Never, ever, ever. So that will be no solution. The notation we can also use for no solution, the symbol we can use for no solution is 0 with a line through it, so no solution. All right, back to expressions, plugging in, stuff we've been doing. All right, so we're going to plug in negative 2 for b, so I get 2 times the absolute value of negative 2 minus the absolute value of 1.5 plus the absolute value of negative 1. Let's work with our absolute values first. The absolute value of negative 2, how far negative 2 is from 0 on the number line is 2. So I've got 2 times 2 minus the distance 1.5 is away from 0 on the number line is 1.5. And then the distance of negative 1 is from 0 on the number line is 1. So 1. Again, order of operations, multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. 2 times 2 is 4, so you get 4 minus 1.5 plus 1. 4 minus 1.5 is 2.5. Again, if you are having issues with that, line up your decimal points. You have to borrow. So it's 5, 1.5. Oh, I messed it up. Let's redo that. Didn't want that. 4 minus 1.5, not 2.5. Borrow again. It's 5 and it's 2, so it's 2.5, and 2.5 plus 1 is 3.5. We're going to be dealing with fractions in the next lesson soon. Let's do one last real quick question. All right, so 1/2 is what to, let's make it 10/18. Okay, so if I'm going to do fractions, I need to get common denominator. So I'm going to use 18 as my least common denominator between 2 and 18. So how can I go from 2 to 18? I can multiply by 9 2 times 18, 2 times 9 is 18. 9 times 1 is 9. So would you rather have 9 pieces out of 18, or would you rather have 10 pieces out of 18? You'd rather have 10 pieces out of 18. Our last example, let's do 1/5 to like 3/25. Again, I have to get a common denominator. My common denominator is 25. How can I go from 5 to 25 and multiply by 5? So 1 times 5 is 5. Would I rather have 5 out of 25 pieces or 3 out of 25 pieces? I'd rather have 5 out of 25 pieces. There you go.